go, man. And that kind of exudes the whole excitement about what happened at 5:01 this morning.
It did, and it kind of got a Beach Boys vibe to it, doesn't it?
Well, back then he was touring with the Beach Boys after his release of the Plug Me Into Something album, and I mentioned earlier that he was sitting there on the tour bus and looking out the window, and he saw his springtime mama walking down the side of the road.
There you go.
And it inspired him to song.
He didn't need no stinking reality show to get hitched.
No, well, he that wasn't the one, though, because the bus was moving, apparently. He just got a glimpse of her.
Okay.
Yeah, but that memory lasted forever. All right, 7 o'clock and time now to go to press, brought to you by Smith Discount Pharmacy, corner of 2nd and Chillicothe, across from the schools, South Webster, Maine, and their newest location in Minford, serving you since 1925. Got some showers in the area, downtown 53, and once again, here's Bill.
Thanks, Steve. Good morning, everybody. Ohio State Representative Justin Pizzulli has introduced House Bill 58. It proposes sweeping changes to Ohio's current recovery housing landscape. Now, House Bill 58 would give local alcohol, drug addiction, and mental health boards, as well as their designees, the authority to inspect and investigate complaints levied against those recovery residences. We spoke with our state representative, Justin Pizzulli.
Southern Ohio leaders stood united at the State House this week. We sent a very powerful message in Columbus by supporting House Bill 58, a bill to regulate recovery housing through a Certificate of Need program. I was there as we all came together in unity for the people of our county, making it clear that while quality treatment providers do good work in our region, unregulated facilities run by bad actors are straining emergency services, lowering property values, and hindering economic growth.
Now, Representative Pizzulli also cited the effective testimony given by two of our local elected leaders.
Prosecutor Shane Tiemann describes Scioto County in his testimony as ground zero for the opioid crisis, with first responders overwhelmed by repeated overdose calls at poorly managed facilities, while our Sheriff Thurman called it a public safety crisis, saying individuals from across Ohio are being sent to Portsmouth for treatment, often ending up homeless or reoffending.
Meanwhile, the Portsmouth Post of the Ohio State Highway Patrol has confirmed they recently received a call of an injury crash that took place on Carey's Run Pond Creek Road near US 52. Rhonda R. Smith, age 55, of West Portsmouth, was traveling northwest before driving off the left side of the roadway and striking a utility pole. Smith was flown to Grant Medical Center in Columbus, where she succumbed to her injuries yesterday. Alcohol is a suspected factor in the crash. Now, we are in the middle of Ohio's Severe Weather Awareness Week's observance, and we talked with Larry Mullins, director of the Scioto County EMA, who told us about the perennial flooding problems that take place in New Boston as the result of severe weather and torrential rain.
That whole watershed there from Divide Hill and Rosemount Hill run right into Munns Run. We were kind of fortunate in a way during September. The Ohio Department of Natural Resources sent in a flood team that did some surveying about what could be done to mitigate some of that. And, things were thrown out like maybe digging Munns Run deeper or putting in a big retention pond, but it would have to be so big it would take 139 out.
Now, Mullins also divulged this historical nugget.
Kind of came down to the only thing they can do there is probably start buying up houses and just leave green spaces that flood. We were kind of surprised, too, to learn that actually New Boston was designed. There were areas that were supposed to flood, and some people built in those areas.
Now, yesterday I had the opportunity to take part in a virtual news conference with Dr. Bruce Vanderhoff, director of Ohio Health. Dr. Vanderhoff gave this update on several serious illnesses that are making their way around our state.
I want to summarize where we stand now with our more common respiratory illnesses. Looking at COVID, the good news is that the decline in cases that began in January continues. When I last spoke about this in late January, we were seeing around 5,500 cases every week. Last week, we were down to less than 3,000 cases. Now, as I've pointed out repeatedly, COVID-19 is a disease we need to continue to take very seriously, as sadly, it continues to claim too many lives. Over the past 3 weeks, we have averaged about 40 deaths in Ohio per week.
But the doctor also gave us some good news.
Along with flu and COVID-19, RSV was another concern earlier in the winter, but thankfully we have seen a sharp decline in cases and hospitalizations in recent weeks.
For Mix 99.3 News, I'm Bill Shope.
Well, did you go through your 80,000 pages of documents downloaded for the JFK assassination?
It's only less than 24 hours. I
Come
went
on,
through the first 20,000.
Bill, no excuses. No. Well, they've been going through them, and just to give you a little update, apparently there's been no huge revelation. Most of the stuff's been talking about the CIA on foreign soil and the problems that they had in perception of why they were on foreign soil and its relationship to Cuba, Mexico, some of the countries that are involved, I think, in maybe setting this up. There's no mention of a second shooter
No.
in all this.
I think Jim Nabors summed it up best when he said, surprise, surprise, surprise.
That's right. And but the big problem coming out of this thing so far is that none of the names have been scratched out, and there are people who are like 80, 85 years old that are finding their social security numbers and stuff being released in all of this information.
Yeah, that's a danger of a non-redaction.
Right.
But, I don't know why those would have been in there to begin with, but names okay, but yeah, that kind of information, not really.
No, and so far they've gone through pretty much all of this stuff. I've gone through it myself a little bit. I've just been reading what they've been telling us, and so far, there's no smoking gun in there. And my opinion is this is stuff that could have been released years ago and wouldn't have made any difference, unless they were trying to protect the CIA in some crazy way.
Well, I got to give them credit. It is indeed 79,993 pages longer than the government's UFO report that they released.
You mean those exciting 9 pages of
Yeah.
everything they knew?
Well, it's actually only 7 because one was a cover page
that's right.
and one was a. So,
Yeah. Pages and pages and pages of nothing so far.
Pretty much.
That's what it is. But we'll keep you posted on that. So when you get done with your homework assignment, I'm anxious to hear what you have to say.
Well, Peterman said, hey, those are a lot of words.
Those are a lot of words. All right, thank you. This update brought to you by Smith Discount Pharmacy, corner of 2nd and Chillicothe, across from the school's South Webster, Maine, and their newest location in Minford, serving you since 1925.
In 1925, the first television image was transmitted and a new car cost about $525. That same year, Smith's Pharmacy opened its doors to serve Portsmouth and the surrounding area. For over 100 years now and through 4 generations, Smith's Pharmacy has been helping the area get well with care and convenience. The first area pharmacy to offer computerized prescriptions and one of the first to provide free monthly med boxes. There's never a long wait. Drive-through convenience, free same-day delivery. Visit Smith's Pharmacies, Portsmouth, Minford, and South Webster.
Just happiness, really.
We call it sports.
Which is happiness, Steve. It is happiness.
Well, of course. When you come in here and supercharge yourself with all
Yeah.
kinds of things that people need to know. And our sports brought to you this morning by Eric Miller and X Vector Pest Control. He's in Lucasville. He'll take out them stink buds, them bed bugs, and all them roaches that want to take you down. He'll put on his cape and take care of business. 357-6436. That is X Vector Pest Control.
See, this is a really happy time to be a sports fan for especially folks like us, because all the teams that we really love aren't playing right now. You know, I keep walking into these conversations. What do you think about the Bengals giving all that money to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins? Do you think they spent too much on those 3 with Burrow? Do you think they're going to get Hendrickson re-signed? Do they got any money left to buy a defense and bolster that offensive line? I don't know. The Bengals aren't going to lose a game for another 6 months, though. It can't happen. So, you know, we're undefeated at least through September as far as the Bengals are concerned. The Reds were off yesterday. The Cats don't play until tomorrow. Poor Ohio State basketball is just looking to figure it out. The Buckeyes aren't going to lose a football game in the spring. So, you know, this is a good time to be a sports fan because we can't really be disappointed.
All you're telling me is at this point you're unemotionally involved.
I'm happy.
And happy, just as Amy Hughes says. Are we happy, Amy?
Just happiness, really.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right, on with sports. We start we start today at noon, or 12:15, but with more on that, here's Chuck.
Absolutely. The final two games of the first four were played last night at the UD Arena in Dayton, where the Xavier Musketeers defeated Texas 86-80. That's why Amy's happy. Not only did her Portsmouth Lady Trojans win a state title this past weekend, she played for the Xavier Musketeers women. Xavier defeated Texas by 6, so the Musketeers move on to face Illinois tomorrow night, and that is slated to be a late game. Mount St. Mary's was the winner in the other game at the UD Arena yesterday, defeating American 86-80. Mount St. Mary's will face Duke tomorrow. The first round of the NCAA tournament begins today with 16 games on tap. Now that's happiness. The first one begins at 12:15 with Louisville taking on Creighton. Kentucky and Akron will play tomorrow. UK will face Troy, while the Zips will go up against Arizona. The Ohio State men's basketball team has lost center Austin Parks to the transfer portal. Parks is a sophomore who played in 9 games this season. According to Yahoo Sports, he was hoping to get more playing time, but it did not happen. Last night in the NBA, the Cleveland Cavaliers fell at the Sacramento Kings, 123-119. That's 3 straight losses now for Cleveland. Darius Garland was rested last night. He was obviously missed. Evan Mobley, however, had a great game. He led the Cavaliers with 31 points and 10 rebounds. Donovan Mitchell added 26 points. The Reds didn't play a spring training game yesterday. They will take on the Royals this afternoon at 4:05. And tonight in the NHL, the Columbus Blue Jackets will host the Panthers at 7 o'clock. Now, the Portsmouth Lady Trojans girls basketball players weren't the only Portsmouth students to capture state championships recently. A couple of young ladies from PHS recently earned state championships in powerlifting. Serenity Cobb and Bailey Wattell. A couple of Portsmouth boys were state runners-up, Zion Froh and Alex Martinez. Congrats to those Trojans. Your Portsmouth Insurance Sports Time is 7:13. Portsmouth Insurance is a TAH benefits partner. Call Gary Duzan for all of your employee benefit needs. And that is a look at sports.
All right, Mr. Happiness, thank you. There you go. Brought to you this morning by your friends, X-Vector Pest Control. And they'll be there to take down all the pests that you can handle, because Eric Miller will put on his cape. Just call 357-6436. That's 357-6436. Traffic, weather together, coming up.
Your enemies come in all shapes and sizes. When trouble arises, you know it's time to call X-Vector Pest Services. With over 30 years of experience, these X-men and women tackle it all. Termites, bedbugs, roaches, mosquitoes, ants, stink bugs, beetles, and even mice or rats. Find them online at xvectorpestcontrol.com. Exterior, interior, commercial, residential, they'll do it all. It's X-Vector Pest Services. Not all heroes wear capes.
And it is your traffic service of your good friends at the Scioto River, 1024 Gallia Street. Celebrate spring today by a great worldwide famous steak, rib, maybe chicken. All of it's waiting for you, and the doors open at 11 at the river. And storm cleanup will go on for another day today on Big Spruce Little Bear Road, and they've been doing a great job on that, getting everything picked up. Also, we've got slip repair done. That was on Cook Road earlier in the week. But do want to tell everybody the Pond Run in Nile Township will be closed day and night at the 1.6-mile marker on March 24th. That'll be for 90 days as they put in a new bridge. So keep that in mind. And if you see something we need to know about, give us a call. 354-1993. Traffic and service of the Scioto River, open 7 days a week.
The weather is service of Monroe Frame Collision and now Wheel Alignment. Monroe's is your full-service body and maintenance company with 30 years of service in 4 locations: Portsmouth, Ashland, Jackson, and Chillicothe. Family-owned and car owner-friendly. Call 353-7279 for Monroe's Frame Collision and now Wheel Alignment.
First alert forecast from WSAZ. Today is a first alert weather day for the scattered showers coming through with particularly cooler temperatures now, blustery as well. Highs barely back into the 50s and then falling to the upper 20s tonight. Expect to see sunshine returning on Friday, but staying seasonably cool with highs in the upper 50s.
I'm WSAZ News Channel 3 meteorologist Brandon Butcher on the Ohio Valley's hit music channel, Mix 99.3.
And it looks like most of the rain has already moved to the east of us right now downtown. 52 degrees as we get up and go.
Mix 99.3.
The best music variety and most fun in the morning. It's Steve Hayes and the Get Up and Go Show on WNXT AM/FM Portsmouth and on WNXTradio.com.
Mix 99.3 worldwide.